I certainly thought that the Olympics would not be postponed.
We all ignored it. We didn't think it was possible whatsoever. With Tokyo 2020, I was really gearing up for, I believe, one of the biggest years yet in my career. He was like a child prodigy at the time, and he was a very good runner, and I was just a little Queenslander that consistently got in the top 3, but I was definitely no Ryan Gregson. And I was sitting with my friends after the race, just kind of talking about the race, and I saw Ryan walking over to me with 2 of his mates either side, a little entourage, and they all had their shirts off, looking all kind of pumped up and proud of themselves. And Ryan walked over, and I was sitting on the ground, and he just called out to my name and he said, "Hey Genevieve, do you like what you see?" And I remember at the time thinking, firstly, like I was so nervous that it was Ryan Gregson, and secondly, I was kind of like, wow, that was so arrogant and rude of him. But I guess it must have had a lasting impression.
We were able to adapt pretty quick. You know, Genevieve had a great run at the tan, vented out some frustration. Other people did different things. Some people took some time away. And that's what, you know, probably led us to, you know, head north from Melbourne. And we started spending some time with our families. Our families are probably something that has been, you know, a bit neglected over the past 10, 12 years. So we just jumped at the opportunity to be able to spend some time with them. We went to my family's holiday house in Foster in northern New South Wales, and we just bunkered there for 7 weeks, and my parents would go there every weekend, so we kind of had the middle of the week just to knuckle down and train, and then we'd spend some nice time with my family on the weekends, and that was really nice.
We schedule our week so nicely. We get half of it on the Gold Coast, half of it in Brisbane, so that I get to see, you know, my mum in Brisbane and a few of my brothers that live there. As much as they wish the Olympics were on, and then they hate that, you know, our plans were changed, they're so grateful that we've been around. Every weekend I announce that, you know, maybe we'll be going overseas soon, and everyone gets really upset, not because they don't want us to race, but they're just so happy to have been given this time, especially my friends. And then my dad's on the Gold Coast with my grandma, so there's so much time to now split up and see everyone, and then sprinkled in there I'll sleep over at like my best friend's house, see their kids, and really we've formulated a schedule that has allowed us to see everyone, keep everyone happy, but also get a great training block in.
Our, you know, personal life and our professional life is difficult because you want something that's so individual for yourself, but so does your partner. And most elite athletes, their partners would be playing that supporting role and not striving for something so intense. But when we're exactly doing the same thing, it can be tricky, but I think we have mastered it now, and I see that it's only a benefit.
You know, when times are tough, you only need one person sitting there and telling you, like, this is, you can do this, you can get through this, you know, forget what anyone else is saying, and then that's enough.
Today is our threshold session. This is the bread and butter of our aerobic work. We always do this once a week pretty much all year round, and it's where we'll do our normal warm-up, drills, strides, and then we will do 11 kilometres of threshold work.
I had to learn a lot of what Ryan already had in him, and vice versa, and that's another reason why I think we have been successful together, is because we both brought something completely different to the table when it came to personalities. And I needed a lot of Ryan's discipline and his work ethic and his selfishness. I needed all that to become a better athlete, and he needed, you know, someone to help him with injuries and diet and, you know, getting through difficult situations when, you know, kind of you're caught in your own headspace. So I think together we've managed to take the strengths from each other and use them to our advantage. Every time we call Nick and he tells us what we've got next Tuesday, it's so reassuring because it's just a plan and it's so short term and so simple. But Ryan and I have never felt lost. We've never felt like we don't have, you know, a planned out short-term future for us. And I know a lot of athletes would have struggled with, you know, just direction in this time. And I don't think that's anything we've had to worry about. Nick's kept us very informed about what other people are doing internationally, what other countries are doing in regards to races coming up or trials being cancelled, or, you know, what type of training they're doing. And he's just kept us kind of in the loop with what everyone's saying. And now, about 3.5 months down the track, we're discussing going overseas, and it's, you know, full steam ahead until we hear otherwise.
Aerobically, I'm as strong as I've ever been. Instead of doing 1 long run a week, it's 2. My lactate threshold is as strong as it's ever been. It's just because it's been, without races, I've just had many consistent weeks, one after the other. And it's just probably been small increments of progression every week, but that's the bonus that I see out of this year. It's interesting to see how different groups have gone about it. Some groups have tried to mimic a normal season, and they've done lots of time trials and faster track work to, so their bodies, trick their bodies into thinking 2020 was just a normal year. But Nick's gone about it thinking, let's get these guys as fit as possible. But he has taken the intensity back a bit to probably limit injuries, so it's been more slower running, longer running. So we'll be super aerobically fit, and then, you know, by the time February next year, when everyone's going to start qualifying, trying to qualify for the Olympics again, I think we'll be really ready to go.
We've really been given every opportunity to improve as athletes while being in Queensland. This is something that will hopefully never happen again, but in the same breath, it could be the missing link for a lot of people for an Olympic year next year. I think we've definitely done it the best way possible, and that was take advantage of the uninterrupted block, but not overdo it, and just try and work on little parts of your training that probably get neglected when you're racing every second weekend.
If I really look at Genevieve, like, I feel like she needs the extra year. I know she was running amazingly, but uninterrupted training-wise, if the Olympics were on in 2020, Genevieve would have only had a year, right? And to really see your maximum potential, you probably need about 2 years. So I think that if everything goes ahead smoothly next year, you know, instead of aiming, Genevieve would be aiming for something like a top 6 result. I don't see why she can't be aiming for a top 3 result now. The plan is to pretty much go as fast as we can go. I think something around 7 minutes 45 would be really good. To win this whole virtual race, we're going to need to run 7:39. That might be, you know, a bit beyond us today. But the main thing I want to get out of this is to get a really good hit out, really good time trial out before these European races in the next few weeks. You know, 3 weeks time, and there's some pretty big races on the Diamond League circuit. So, you know, with nothing going on in Australia right now, this is as good as we can do to try and simulate, you know, that pressure, that intensity of the races that we're going to get overseas.
It's technically training, it's a time trial, it's not a race, but just with how the world is right now, we haven't had a race in so long. I'm trying to use it as a bit of a mental prep to get me prepared for races again. So I'm going through my whole race routine and doing my same meals, same stretches, wearing my race kit, and it just helps me kind of get in that frame of mind.
we're doing the Queensland 10K Champs on track this coming Saturday, which would be a nice little way to close out our Queensland trip. And then on Sunday we'll wake up and do the drive to Sydney to prepare to fly to London on Wednesday.
Yeah, we've been approved from the government to travel overseas, and once over there we've been confirmed in a few races, where I think the first one is the Monaco Diamond League, and we're not too sure after that, but hopefully more opportunities come up and it can be a jam-packed 6 weeks, 8-week trip over there, and hopefully we get some really good hit outs to make it a worthwhile trip.